Well, welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, this is how I bring all my seedlings, etc., to the allotment. Good, isn't it? A lot of legs as well. It's getting a bit warmer. Let's have a look what we've got. So these have been sitting at home. I like these egg boxes because you can write on them. So Rocket, Rudolph, I had those sent me this time. Some Charlotte, some Pentland Javelin, Condor, Manitou. What's on that one? Wilger, Performer, my very scabby looking pink fir apple. These pink fir apple were sent to me by one of my viewers. Manitou, did I see Manitou? Let's put that back again. Blue Danube, Sharpies Express, Condor, some Java from Nick's Garden, or Nick's Allotment, that's NIC. Some Swift and some more Swift. No, they're not. They're Swift, they're Swift. These are the Home Guard that a fellow plot holder gave me. So, a couple of experiments this year. So I'll split them into two. One we're going to have sheep's wool, and one we're going to have some potato fertilizer. Yes, I'm going to give them some food. Even though this homemade compost has probably got all the nutrients it needs. My temporary compost bins were over there. I've started layering some of the compost and then topping up with my homemade compost. So let's do a couple and then I'll get cracking. Mrs. K's snagging list has suddenly got bigger and I'm working all weekend. So this time we're going to be using some of the this is out the actual temporary pallet collar bins. We're going to pop a little bit in the bottom for the one experiment. And pop some sheep's wool in. That should break down nice and slowly, he says, hopefully. And feed the potatoes. I'm going to try and equal out these potatoes. So these are the three smaller ones. I must make a note of that. So that's all they're having. We fill it right to the top. These will not get watered at all until they actually go to the surface, because you're endangering the fact that they will rot off, especially if we get this rain that's going to be coming. So we'll put 3 seed. So if these produce more, it may be because there was 3 seed potatoes. These are going to be sitting on some of the plastic trays that were unscrupulously dumped by the cannabis growers. These are 30-litre bags. The birds have found this and they've been pinching the worms. Ideally, I don't want the worms to disappear too much. This is potato fertilizer, 15, 9, 20. I haven't got a clue what that means, guys. You know me, I don't use fertilizers very often. I try and use all my homemade liquid plant foods, etc. So there's just 2 seeds there. Just tap the core. Busy, busy, busy. Completely lost where I am now, but there's 2 in there. We'll just top it up, and then we can have a bit of a comparison. Bits of plastic and all sorts, possibly from any leaves we threw into the mix. We ought to write on there really 2 seed. Once I've been to sleep, that'll be it. I forgot. We're using the Edding 750 marker pens and the yellow gaffer tape, just covering the last year's old writing. Now I'm going to have to try and find somewhere for all these potato bags, but we've got lots to be going on with, so I'll get cracking with that and we can show you at the end. But that's my little comparison this time. Is it worth putting the potato fertilizer in when we can use sheep's wool that we've had on the beds all winter, etc. So I've filled 10 bags up to yet, and this is lovely wet material, but what I don't want to do on a no dig bed is let it dry out. So we'll top up as we go. The idea of no dig beds is not to disturb them. That way you don't disturb the weeds. And it holds the moisture better, because as soon as you turn it, you're exposing the wet. Dry drops down to the bottom. Don't know how much time I've got left, but this is a little job I can do now every time I pop up the allotment, as long as I know there's not going to be a frost. Else I'm going to have to put my spuds away. I don't want them frosted. Just doing a different experiment with the Java. I've got 3 nice seed potatoes that Nick sent me. So we'll just plant one in the middle with the potato feed, one with the sheep's wool, and one with nothing added, so it's just the actual compost. Now I thought I got a lot of compost. Oh dear. Every time you fill a 30-litre pot up, I've got some more out the other bin. It's quite a bit actually. But if you thought, if you think you've got to buy the compost, would it give me nightmares? It's well worth the effort making your own. So before we go any further, because I can always pinch the compost from the other side, I need to top these beds up. So just excuse me while I go in front of you. But if there's anybody local that wants to try the sheep's wool, we need to help the farmers out. They're trying to diversitise and do what they can. Sorry, Mr. Worm, new home. But I can get some orders placed for anybody that is local. It will be later on in the year. Apparently the sheep will be lambing later. I can't remember what time of the year I had it, but it was ideal time when I was actually covering the beds. Now, as long as you don't bury the sheep's wool, it seems like it'll last a while. Nice to top this off, and then I can just use the rest up. But I think it's definitely worth the money. So I paid £20 for about 10 fleeces. And I did cover quite a bit of the allotment with it. Some of it's now buried, some of it's been taken up. To use elsewhere. Going to use it to cover my potatoes, the giant ones. So I think it could be quite useful. Right, I'll go and get some compost. I've got a bit left that I made the other day. Let's see how far that goes. But my Gmail's in the description, right at the bottom. If anybody wants to drop me a note, but it's well worth asking around on social media, etc. I'm sure sheep farmers are on social media. The lady that I get it off only gets 50p a fleece, so she was getting about £2 a fleece off me, and I think that was well worth the money for the be good value and everything else. Corn on the cob there. I always mulch my beds just to help with the moisture retention. The water will soak through this into the wetter layers, and that's where it'll pick up the wet moisture, because you know compost, once it dries out, it takes some getting moist again. It doesn't matter about the top layer. I like to be no dig until I decide to change my mind, then I have to dig them all out again. But all these beds were well prepared. There's nothing in this top layer of homemade compost. I had the element, any goodness at the time of planting. All these beds have either had sheep's wool, manure, leaves, etc. Right, looks like I can fill a couple more bags. Get some more potatoes planted. You would never have known there was anything there. Bar gum. That material will come in really useful. So we've got those in. I will be topping these up with some of the compost that we find that's unscrupulously dumped, just again to hold the moisture in. But happy with that. We are due a drop of rain, so hopefully no watering for a while. But like I said, I don't water till the greens show, and if I've got the timings right, mid-April, well, no, not quite mid-April, by the time the last frosts have gone, I'll be showing the heads. Most of the beds have been covered now. Sheep's wool in this one here. Autumn leaves, or well rotted autumn leaves over there with the giant cabbages. All the prepared beds are now done. The casings are now on for the giant potatoes. I'll probably have some more along here depending on how we go on. Spring bulbs are lovely, and the transplanted mint and parsley are doing really well. If you've liked the content, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. leave me a comment. And why not consider subscribing? I've got all that to go at the moment. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.